Hey, it's time for another installment of Talking Microsoft, the show devoted to all things of the Redmond ecosystem. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about the newest build of Windows 10, number 14352. A better definition of just exactly what a universal app is. A little bit about AMD Polaris, Surface Mobile, Microsoft's competitor to TeamViewer, and is Visa all butthurt with PayPal right now? All that and more right after this. Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of Talking Microsoft. Now, this is a show where we're listening to our feedback in the community and trying to talk about the things that you want to hear about Redmond. And one of the things that was requested is kind of give a status update, a little bit about the builds of Windows 10, where we're at with the big anniversary update with Windows. And so I just thought I would share with you right now. Let's go here. If you are on the fast ring of the insider membership with on the Windows side of things, then you can now pull down build number 14352. Here's a few things that you should know. There's been a few tweaks to the start menu in the Action Center. You'll notice right here, there's no longer a number, but rather a pound symbol. That way, groups of applications can be put or grouped together in a particular number. Kind of cool. Also, there's been a change to the notification area that no longer shows you the little number of updates on there. Nothing significant right there. Minor tweaks to the icons used for the File Explorer. Basically, they're sticking back with the yellow and blue theme on that. Some new changes to Cortana. Cortana now lets you issue commands that will play music that's on a local file, or a local hard drive. Also OneDrive, and then Groove Music. So you can say, hey, Cortana, play that song, play by artist name, etc. And that's it on there. Also, other commands to Cortana, such as setting timers. There you see right there. Changes to the lock screen. By the way, I believe you can actually have Cortana play music even with the lock screen activated. So that's kind of cool. Improvements to Windows Ink. And then also, it will come with Windows Ink, I should say, which is, according to Microsoft, a new experience that lets users with touch-enabled devices quickly and easily write notes, sketch, and annotate screenshots with a stylus. Improvements to sticky notes. Anybody out there use sticky notes? It's there, and I never use it. I just never have a use case for sticky notes, but there it is. So some stuff on sticky notes, and then improvements to Sketchpad. And then, of course, Microsoft Edge. Speaking of Edge, LastPass just had an update that now allows you to use LastPass with the Edge browser. I've kind of played around with the Edge browser, and to be honest with you, it's not terrible. But again, I rely on Chrome and all the various extensions and stuff that I do, and I just find myself, because I'm a Google Apps for Business user, tied very, very deeply into that Google ecosystem. But they have that. Some changes there, some more changes to system settings. They previously added a feature called projecting to this PC. It allows your Windows Phone or other Windows 10 device to your computer screen while letting you use its keyboard, mouse, and other peripherals. So that's been slightly updated. And then it gives some updates to the security settings as well. And that's pretty much it that's in this latest build. We're getting very, very close to the anniversary update. And I will share with you from experience, if you have, I just want to mention this briefly. If you have an external USB drive hooked up to your machine when this anniversary update comes around, make sure that all non-essential devices are removed from your PC before running the upgrade, because that's what prevented the last major update to Windows on my Windows 10 machine was because there was a USB external hard drive, and it actually prevented the upgrade to go through and caused me a whole lot of pain until I finally figured that one out. Just thought I would share that with you. So moving along, this is being reported right now that E3, which is June 14th through the 16th, Microsoft plans on unveiling some VR titles for the new Xbox One. Now, I said the new Xbox One. That's right. Microsoft is going to be announcing, codenamed Scorpio, a much more powerful version of the Xbox One, supposedly much more faster than what the rumored PS4 4K edition is going to be. I'm not sure if that's what they're calling it. I kind of pulled that out of my butt, but that's kind of what it's for, right? They're the ability to have 4K gaming. Anyhow, one of the interesting things, I just read this on here, that they said it would be more powerful. See if I can find something on here about Scorpio. Yeah, here it is. Codename Scorpio, the revamped console will be the most powerful console released, clocking at 6.16 teraflops, which would give it more power than the PlayStation 4K, and which is a new machine meant to work with the Sony PlayStation VR. So I thought I would share that with you. We're getting very close to E3, June 14th through the 16th. So we should be seeing, at least getting news about these new powerful machines from PlayStation and from Xbox. Let's moving along. What the hell does that mean? Okay, let's move along. What really is an app on Windows? I just did a video the other day talking about universal apps and how they're not really all that useful to me. But in the long run, yes, they're definitely, that is the future. That's where Microsoft's going. Microsoft's never really given a super clear description of just exactly what an app is. It's one of those things you just know when you see it, right? Well, here's the idea. Microsoft wants to unify the experience of installation, resource management, all these things of an application across the entire Microsoft ecosystem, whether it is for your desktop, whether it's for a tablet, whether it's for a phone, whether it's for the Xbox One. And that required a complete retinkering of how all this stuff really works. So they come up with the UWM, or the Universal Windows App Model, UWM. And basically this is a new installer. It comes with a new type of installer. Now, it's not quite as potent yet as an MSI type of installer, etc., but it's getting better all the time. But the idea is this. There's been really no super clean way to uninstall software off your PC, right? These applications leave little remnants of themselves behind, and you get registry bloat, and you get all these problems and issues. Microsoft wants to just do away with all that, make it super simple to uninstall an application across the entire ecosystem. So that meant the development of this universal Windows model. That's great, but what about folks who already have more of a standard type application? What can they do? Well, that's what Project Centennial is all about. Centennial allows you to convert an application into a universal application. So, for example, Photoshop into a universal Windows application, which means it's now portable, theoretically, in theory, between Xbox One, Surface tablet, your desktop PC, touch-based PC, or potentially even Windows Phone using Continuum, for example. All these bits has got to be in place before this thing becomes the really potent reality that we're looking for. So the modern installer is called .appx. This is going to replace MSI and other utilities for installing and uninstalling software, and that is Microsoft's ambition right now, is to make .appx the ultimate installer across the entire Windows ecosystem. So that's the bottom line on this thing. That is really what it's all about. An application or an app is meant to run across multiple Windows devices, share the same resource management, the same installer, uninstall, all this across the board. That is the best explanation of an app, in my opinion, to date. Now, I'm probably a little bit late talking about this, But was it last week? Microsoft, they have this program called, was it GWX, which basically Microsoft has been doing everything in their power to get people to upgrade to Windows 10, including tricking them into installing Windows 10. And they use an application, I believe it's called GWX, to get you to do this. And there's actually software out there now that will block the GWX. So Microsoft keeps trying to do things real crafty. I'm going to spare you some of the details and get right to the meat and potatoes of this article right here. And that is that they recently, whoops, going too far. Here's the deal. They recently come out with another trick to get people to install Windows 10 on their systems, because you couldn't, to close out of the window for the pop-up that you get now, that they pushed out this update that included this thing. If you click the X to close out of the window, it basically, you're telling Microsoft, go ahead and give me Windows 10. Is that not wrong on just multiple levels? Is there no limit to what Microsoft won't do, how far they will sink in order to get people to install Windows 10? Now, I will tell you that I think Windows 10, all in all, is a great operating system. And there's really, in my opinion, no great argument for most people not upgrading to Windows 10. Privacy issues aside, putting aside the advertisements that Microsoft seems to be wanting to push out, the freemium services, they've provided a great update, all-around update at an absolutely new cost. And I think that's even going to continue after the anniversary update. I don't believe, as of right now, that Microsoft will actually start charging for upgrades. I think they're going to say it was such a huge success, we've decided to extend this thing. And I hope so. I've got a little Dell tower out here with a little Dell tower with a blown PSU in it that I need to get upgraded to Windows 10. I hope that is the case. Just thought I would share that with you. I thought that would be kind of interesting. Moving along. Okay, this is something I've been saying is going to happen. Goodbye, Microsoft Lumia. Hello, Surface Mobile. Okay, so one of the things that happened is Microsoft recently sold remnants of Nokia to a Chinese company. It's going to bring back the Nokia handsets, and this time they're going to be running Android. Okay, Microsoft is, for all purposes, given up on the high-volume, low-cost phone business. They're going to support them, but they're not going to do any more development. They sold off that part of the business, taking a big write-down on the whole Nokia thing. Nokia, however you want to pronounce it. They're taking that write-off, but they are not going to give up. Basically, what they're saying is now we're going to concentrate on business customers, and we're going to concentrate on people that want premium products. That means Surface Mobile. That means that's what's going to happen. They're going to trade in that whole high-volume, low-cost sales model, and they're going to have a flagship phone. It's going to be a Surface phone. I keep telling everybody that. Paul Thurrott told me, no, it made no sense. I think it makes perfect sense. I think if Microsoft wants to stay relevant in the phone business, this is what they need to do. Satya Nadella is going to make things a little bit more clear this summer, because annually he releases a letter or a kind of a marching orders to Microsoft where we need to be going over the course, the next year, 2 years, 3 years, etc. And so he's due for the new one. And Microsoft wants to be in the business of selling services. They have the freemium stuff. That's what they want to sell. They're having really, really great luck with the Surface brand of products. I don't know so much about the Surface laptop device as the Surface Pro 4. People are pushing back a little bit on that because of the price on the Surface Pro 4. That they can easily top out over, $1,200 or more for one of these devices. There's a little bit of pushback, but yet the market is growing for Microsoft. And I think having a Surface phone with the Continuum and all the cool stuff that they're doing there, I think will eventually be a winner in the business market, and perhaps to those people who would buy a Surface Pro device, for example, would be very interested in that Surface phone. I think that's the market that's going to go for, a very premium phone, a premium device, And Microsoft's getting out of that. Guess what? We're going to sell, 9, 12, 15, 30, 50 million phones, but rather concentrate on a smaller number of much more profitable phones. That's, I think, the future that I see for the Lumia, or I should say for the Surface phone. It's going to be a premium type product, selling smaller numbers, and also be probably a model available for the enterprise as well. Okay, Microsoft is working on a TeamViewer competitor for Windows 10. Found this in an article under mspoweruser.com. Here's the thing. It's really just a rehash of the Windows Remote Assistance tool. It's a cleanup made into a universal application. Functions sort of similar as TeamViewer does. If you get a code, if you need assistance, you get a code and you can take over a machine, etc. This, folks, I'm telling you right now, this is really, I don't know, it's clickbait, whatever you want to call it. It's really not a competitor to TeamViewer. TeamViewer does lots and lots of stuff that this software doesn't do. IT professionals are not going to use this product, but it sounds good. It sounds good. And maybe making people more aware of it will make it more useful, perhaps to others. But no, this is no TeamViewer replacement, but it is free. Comes with Windows 10 anniversary update. This is the universal app, but you already got this product basically in different form in Windows. So nothing major right there, but I thought I would still pass this along to you. All right. Tomorrow, May 31st, this is recording this on Monday, May the 30th, Memorial Day. Tomorrow, as I understand it, AMD is going to be streaming updates about their Radeon Polaris GPU and the new Bristol Ridge APUs. They're saying that they're going to come to market somewhere in middle of the year, which you can't get a whole lot more middle of the year than between the end of May and the middle of June, right? They need that competitor out there as quickly as possible to the new NVIDIA GTX 1080 and the soon-to-be released GTX 1070 GPUs. According to this article I found on PC World, again, NVIDIA is going to be streaming this, more information about it, what the architecture is, 14 nanometer thing. Here's the thing. Right now, with you have basically the two new darlings from NVIDIA, the GTX 1080, the GTX 1070. GTX 1080 Founders Edition is a $700 graphics card. $699, I believe, is what the sales price is. You're around $400 for the GTX 1070. And where the two fit in? GTX 1070 is really a sweet spot for 1440p gaming, high settings. It's going to do great. Yes, it can do 4K, but you're not going to get the same frame rates. You really got to back the settings way down. If you want 4K gaming at acceptable frame rates, the must-have card is the 1080. But mostly, I think most people is going to come into that GTX 1070 camp if you're on the Team Green side of things. Yours truly needs to upgrade his video card in a bad way. It's a 3-year-old Radeon 7950, and pushing this 34-inch ultra-wide around in gaming is getting to be a bit tough. Doom, not really playable unless I back the settings way down. I'm still getting some tearing and stuff. It just can't cope. Yours truly needs a new GPU. Is he going to go Team Green or Team Red? Well, I'm going to rebuild my custom PC this fall. It's due. New CPU, new motherboard, new drives. Basically, the only thing I'm keeping is pretty much a hard drive and the case and the power PSU. Those I know for sure I'm keeping. The rest of it's going to be all replaced. New motherboard, new CPU. Probably end up getting like a 6-core CPU. We'll see. Budget and all that kind of thing. But I'm really curious about what AMD is going to be doing in the Team Red. I like AMD GPUs. I really do. Which is kind of, I'll just relate this momentarily to you. So I have this MacBook Pro. And It's the mid 2014 model, and damned if that thing doesn't ship with the GTX 750M in it. It's a mediocre GPU. Of course, I use Final Cut Pro for video editing on it, but Final Cut Pro is really designed to work with OpenCL. I often wonder, why didn't Apple ship a GTX 750 in a machine that a lot of people buy to edit video on that works best with OpenCL, which is way better done by AMD than no. It's one of those things. Why did you do that? And then anyhow, I have an AMD card in my desktop PC, so I'm definitely. I guess I'm leaning. I want to see what Team Red does. I would probably lean, if it's a really good competitor to the GTX 1070 on the Radeon side of things, I'll probably stick with Team Red. Just thought I would share that with you. I'm talkative today. I'm just feeling really talkative today. Moving along, this is kind of an interesting story. Even though this is not Microsoft related, I thought I would share it in with you. Visa is absolutely all butthurt with PayPal. This is Visa CEO just threatened to go after PayPal in ways that people have never seen before. Let me explain to you what's going on. Many of you in my community, I'm sure, have a PayPal account. And when you set up your PayPal account, you have to have a funding source, right? Now, you can choose a credit card, or you can directly take the money out of your bank account. This is what Visa's CEO is pissed about. Because if you choose a credit card, Visa will get their cut, their fee, every time they hit your credit card in order to fund a purchase using PayPal. But if you're doing ACH, or that's what we call an ACH, withdraw from your bank account, they're cut out of the action. So they're telling PayPal, you can't sit on the fence. Make up your mind one way. You're either with us or you're against us. And if you decide that you're going to continue going down this path, we are going to counterpunch, and we're going to come after PayPal with a direct competitor, which they have what's called Visa Checkout for e-commerce sites, for example. Set up a promotion of Apple Pay and Android Pay, which don't work with PayPal, and give discounts on transaction fees. So they're really trying to put the hammer on PayPal. Personally, I do not use a credit card to fund my PayPal account. I have it take it directly out of the bank. It's boom, it's paid for. It's a done deal. I'm glad Visa doesn't get their ounce of flesh, their pound of flesh every time I decide to buy something. Thought I would share that with you. And finally, in this week's installment of Talking Microsoft, if you're into video, a lot of you are, a lot of you dabble with video. You probably heard of the name Vegas Pro many, many times over the years. At one time, they were one of the most popular video editors for the PC on the market. And Sony bought them. Sony Creative bought Vegas, and they maintained it, and they released updates to it. They also have SoundForge, and they have some other products, all under this Sony Creative software umbrella. Now, of course, yours truly finally breaks down and buys a copy of Vegas for editing on the PC. I refuse to pay Adobe's monthly subscription for Premiere. I just refuse. And I found this to be a capable editor, but it's not really been maintained that well by Sony. As a matter of fact, the GPU accelerated rendering with Vegas apparently doesn't support video cards much older than the AMD 5000 series. And the same thing, long time ago. They've not really updated a lot of this stuff in many, many years. Yours truly buys it within months. Sony sells it. Sony sold it to Magix. Well, the thing is, that's actually great news. Magix has commented that they plan not only on maintaining the software, but finally coming out with a new version. They rehired many of the people let go by Sony in the creative software department. They've rehired them, putting them to work on fixing up Sony Vegas and making it into a real competitor in the marketplace. I got to tell you, if you've never tried Vegas, it's really, really quite capable. Very, very good. And I'm actually glad to see Sony sell it off rather than letting it languish without updates and falling way, way behind with Premiere. And that's it. That is this week's installment of Talking Microsoft, even though we did talk about Sony Vegas. And yes, we talked a little bit about Visa feeling all butthurt, but I like to keep the show topical as well. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to your comments down below. Bruce Naylor, take care, everybody. Have a good one.